My name is Tim Turk from HockeySkillsTraining.com, and I do the shooting. I've been an NHL shooting and scoring coach for about 17 years, and I feel amazing about our new website, along with you and Matt Corthias. Matt Corthias will join us on our next podcast, but you and I will give some information to the members. So go ahead and introduce yourself there, Azar.
Yeah, so I'm Lukas Lawson with Pro Skaters Inc. And like Tim said, I'm part of the Hockey Skills Training program, and I do the skating portion. I've been a skating coach for the last 8 years. I retired from professional hockey in 2010, so I've been doing that for full time for the last 6 years. And I really enjoyed, and I love this new project that we've done, making online videos available to anybody anywhere in the world.
That's awesome. Like the one thing that people often neglect, in my opinion, in their development is the not only the skating side of things. And I think that skating should be the foundation to the building of the skills. And the reason I say that is it's been a hot topic, not only at the NHL level, but at all the levels, going all the way down through the minor hockey and the beginner Timbit development programs. They're starting to focus on skating a lot more, Laser. And I guess I should let people know that. Your nickname's Laser because of your skating ability, body control, and ability to teach your messages and what you want them to do. So the question that I have for the people of HockeySkillsTraining.com is for you is because skating is such a really important component. What do you see When you go to rinks and you watch players play, and we do this all the time because it helps us to help others when we're teaching as well, what do you see that you feel that hockey players at any level probably should focus on or maybe need the most?
I would say the biggest thing that separates really good skaters from the average skaters is their ability to skate the same way with or without the puck and generate that same amount of speed with or without the puck. A lot of players, especially in minor hockey, when they get the puck, their stride gets shorter and they actually slow down. So my biggest thing is getting the players confident without the puck, and then over time, eventually getting them comfortable and confident with the puck in their on their stick, skating the same way that they would without the puck.
Yeah, it's unbelievable point. And I can attest to, I've known you for many years now as a professional player and as a professional teacher, right from the minor league levels all the way up through to teaching NHL players that we work with. Yeah. And the one thing that I really like when we're working together with players is your ability to not only recognize what a player needs, but we also know that there's not only one way that we can deliver our message, because players understand them all different ways. So our delivery has to be different. And the other question that I would have would be, when those players are handling a puck and they're moving their feet at the same time, what are some of the things that you get them to think about so that their speed doesn't slow down or it doesn't hamper the thought process into always maintaining the momentum that coaches require?
Yeah, well, the biggest challenge I find when players get the puck is staying low, keeping their posture low, staying in what I call a power position. A lot of times when players get the puck, their posture changes, it goes up, and just being able to recognize that I think is very, very important, not only from a coaching standpoint, but also players saying, oh yeah, that does happen. And what happens when their posture changes, when it goes up, the higher your posture, the shorter your stride. And I believe in creating as much power as you can whenever you're pushing, whether it's your inside edge or your outside edge. You want to be able to create power in every situation. So whether it's gliding or when they get a puck, that's when the player's posture changes, and you just got to drill that into their head and make it a habit of staying low with the puck.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Like, it's funny because you bring up power position and gliding, and those are two main focal points in a lot of the members that are on hockeyskillstraining.com. They're like constantly sending messages and saying like, I never knew that when I'm taking a stride, there's a glide in there. I have to glide not only in a straight line, but maintaining that power position. And some of the videos that are on hockeyskillstraining.com that you've done, man, I just see how it's kind of like the message that we're trying to send to these players is it doesn't matter what level that you play at. If you apply the things that we're teaching, eventually you're going to get better at it if you're focused enough and you're willing to learn, and then you're going to have more fun, whether you're a young beginner player, you're an old men's league recreational player. I think that the product that we've given at hockeyskillstraining.com is really good. I just wanted to say one more thing though, Laser. Like the focal point on skating, I just remember a couple of times in my last few visits to teams where everyone looks like they can skate, but they all look different to me because I can recognize it in different ways, and I always constantly am reminding the coaches and asking the coaches, like, if you had a skating coach, you could probably win more games, because skating, in my opinion, is the foundation to learning how to control the puck with more confidence and ultimately shooting it, because you can do things on both sides of your body. What are some of the things that you recommend that the listeners are listening here that they can do when they're trying to be balanced instead of right side dominant or left side dominant?
Yeah, well, the first thing is be patient. That's a thing that I try to tell teams that I'm working with, coaches that I'm working with, is these things aren't an overnight fix, and it has to be drilled. The best way to become advanced in something is to drill fundamentals daily, and that's I believe in that 100%. What I think players should think about is when they're skating without the puck is try to think about your body position. I always go back to like I said earlier, that power position, your posture, and I do a lot of things where I isolate one side of their body, making players push with their left side of their body, making players push with their right side of their body, and what players figure out is one side of their body's working the way it should be, and then the other is basically it's just attached. It's not working. So players have to recognize which side of their body needs a little bit more attention, and that side can be improved and should be improved in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, a lot of times when I'm out there, my main focus obviously is on the puck side of things, but I must say in all the years of working with you, I recognize and start to try and dissect not only the timing side of things and how players are doing stuff with their skating. The one thing that is also coming up too, Lucas, is this off-ice focus on players going into the gym or doing some sort of off-ice training hopefully with the mindset that what they do off-ice is going to help them on the ice with those movement patterns that we're asking them to do, those starting positions and finishing positions along, like you said, getting that power position down. So one thing I would ask your opinion on for our members are, what do you think is a good thing to do off ice to help them to maintain that power position and not have them go through those posture changes when they're not used to the both sides of their body being equal?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that I like for players to have on the ice is their ability to get into different positions and being able to move the way I would like them to move. A lot of players now are over-conditioned or over-trained, and that leads to tightness in their bodies. Most importantly, their hips and low back. And to me, if they're tight off ice and in the gym from overtraining, that limits the amount of improvement they're going to make on the ice. If they can't get into a power position, I'm limited as to what I can do for them, just because of their physical limitation in different movement patterns and situations.
Yeah. So I guess then what you're saying is would you agree that flexibility is almost like stretching out? Being flexible could be almost as important as enhancing, those muscle movement patterns and building of muscle or building of strength and power and quickness and speed like that. What do you think about that as far as being able to perform out on the ice, the flexibility part?
Yeah, the only way strength can be a weapon is if the technique is solid on the ice.
Yeah.
You can get so strong in the gym, but you're not going to get any faster if the technique is not there. When I was playing in university at the University of Maine, there was a lot of guys that were really strong in the gym, but they didn't have that solid skating foundation on the ice, and it hurt them. Those guys, they had trouble getting in the lineup. They could squat 500 pounds and they could bench 300, but they didn't get into the lineup because there was some technical deficiencies in their skill set.
Yeah, that sounds just about right. And man, that still happens today. Like we see that a lot, with our involvement in the NHL organizations that you and I have worked in. We see that there's a lot of issues with the strength side of things, the performance output and stuff like that. And then obviously, you feel like you're getting strong, you're committing and you're willing to do the off-ice training, but because it sometimes hampers the things you're doing, then that confidence and mindset starts to change because you're not getting in the lineup. So, I mean, that's a really good answer. I'm hoping that our listeners will take this stuff and the information that we're giving them and use it. But before we shut this information session podcast down, I'm going to put you on a spot and ask you a question about equipment. And I know as a shooting and scoring coach at the NHL level, when someone asks me what they think the most important piece of equipment is that they can use in their daily routine, I'm going to say a hockey stick. And obviously, skating coaches are going to say the skates are. So would you just give me some information and the listeners out there, some information on what you think and how the skates have evolved, and you can even talk about name brands, because this is an information session where some people want to hear about what your thoughts are on equipment.
Yeah, so I agree 100% that the sticks and the skates are like any tradesman's tools. That's hockey players' tools is your sticks and your skates, and you have to be comfortable in your skates, and you have to be comfortable with your stick. These guys are on the ice every day. So with the skates, I all through college, and then my entire pro career, I wore Bauer skates, and they were a good skate, but I had a lot of problems with my foot. I had the bone spurs on my heels. I had a lot of pain in my big toes, my baby toes, and then some lace bite on the top of my on the top of my foot. So about 2 years ago, I was introduced to VH Skates. It's a company out of Winnipeg. A guy, an ex-speed skater, started to make his own skates, speed skates, and then he got into making hockey skates. So I decided to purchase a pair, and I've had the VH skates for 2 years now, and I've got to say they're the most comfortable boot I've ever been in, and I'll be in my skates some days 5-6 hours. So I need something that's super comfortable. So since I've been in the VH, the bone spurs, or what they call the Bauer bump on the heel, has gone away. I don't have them anymore on both my heels. My lace bite's gone, and I've got the feeling back in my big toe. So that's my experience. Yeah, so that's what I'm in right now. I'm in the VH, and probably get another pair again before the start of the summer.
Oh man, I'm glad you brought those skates up, because I'm in them too, and comfort wise, like you said, like just unbelievable comfort and fit with those skates. But for me, I need that comfort, because I'm in my feet the same amount of time as you, pretty much, sometimes every day, up to 5 and 6 hours. But I'm not performing in them. I'm not, I don't need to. But I mean, on the performance side, like I've watched you take a few quick starts in teaching to give players at all levels visuals, and I'm watching the performance, and what would you say about the performance of those skates?
I would say they're, performance-wise, they're the best skates I've had as well. I'm not getting any younger. I'm 37 years old now, and I'm skating as good as I've ever skated. So performance-wise, it's, as long as you, like, the thing is, it's one thing to get a pair of skates, but then it's another thing to do the right things after you get them. A lot of players, they take a pair of skates and have them sharpened right out of the box, put them on and go skate. They're missing a step there, and the step is it's a profile, and there's a lot of players that don't know anything about this, and it has to do, the profile has to do with your height, your weight, and your position, and everybody's got a different profile because of those 3 different variables. So and it's actually the amount of blade that's on the ice and where it is on your blade. So that's another thing that players have to have completed. The guy that I use is Jason Durand. He's got the Canadian Pro Shop, it's called. He's got 2 locations for the people in the Ottawa area. One at the GRC, the Goulbourn Recreation Complex, and another shop in Arnprior at the Nick Smith Center. So for the people in Arnprior, make sure you at least get your skates checked. He might say they're okay, but 99% of the time, the skates, the profile needs to be adjusted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can attest to Jay. I can attest to Jay for sure. I mean, I have 2 pairs of skates, and they're both VHs, and they only get maintained once a summer when I'm up there in Arnprior to do our camp together. I don't let anyone touch my skates unless Jay's around. If he's not around, then I'm in trouble. I have to wait, and it's rare that I'll even get them sharpened. I mean, unless there's something wrong with them, I'll get them sharpened. But Jay's my guy too. I can attest to that. All the listeners out there in the Ottawa Valley, if you want to get your skates properly profiled to you, no matter what age or level you play, he's the guy to go see. So that's good that you brought that up. Well, I think what we'll do in another podcast down in the future, Laser, is we'll talk about what goes into the profile and how it's done on the skating side of things, and then we'll mix in some technical stuff like stride frequency and things to do going forward. But if you have anything else to add before we close out the podcast for the people here, I think we did some really good things by bringing up some technical stuff already. Anything else to add?
No, I mean that's great. I can't wait for the next one.
Awesome. So we'll shut her down now, and we hope that everyone that listens to the podcast, we're gonna open up the floodgates and allow you guys to chime in on some maybe some types of things that you want us to talk about, and we can save an episode just for you and include you in on what we're talking about from an NHL point of view when it comes to development. All right, good. Well, thanks a lot there, Lasco. We'll hook up again soon.
Okay, thanks, Turkey.